Okay, so you're busy, you have a lot going on, but you still want to learn something new and interesting.
Right.
Something that can maybe even help you out in your own life.
Exactly.
That's kind of our whole deal here, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And today, we're diving into something that I honestly did not expect.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, we're talking about advice from Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Of all people, right?
Right.
But this isn't about, like, doing your own stunts or anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is about something a lot of people struggle with, social anxiety.
Yeah, and particularly like in big groups, those situations where you feel a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And this actually comes from Hayley Atwell.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Peggy Carter from the Marvel movies?
Oh, right, of course. And she was also in the Mission Impossible films with Tom Cruise.
Exactly. She's worked with him a bunch, and she's talked about this advice a couple of times.
Okay, so where did we even hear about this?
So she was on this podcast called Rain with Josh Smith and also did an interview with The Guardian.
Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is really unpack this advice that Tom Cruise gave her and see if it's something that we can actually apply, in our own lives.
Yeah, because sometimes celebrity advice is a little out there.
A little, yeah.
But this one is actually really interesting.
Okay, so Hayley Atwell, she was talking about that feeling you get sometimes when you're in a crowded room, where you just want to disappear.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're overthinking everything. You're worried about how you look, what you're saying, if you're being awkward.
It's the worst.
Right. I think we've all been there.
Totally. And what's funny is that even someone like Hayley Atwell, someone who's, super successful and seems so confident.
Right. You'd think she'd be immune to that.
Exactly. But she was saying that she feels that too sometimes.
So what did Tom Cruise say? Like, how do you deal with that feeling?
Well, apparently he's pretty direct, and he told her to basically flip her focus.
Flip her focus. What do you mean?
So instead of focusing on all those internal feelings, the self-doubt, the anxiety, he told her to look outward at the room.
That's interesting.
Right. It's kind of counterintuitive.
Yeah, so what is she supposed to be looking for when she's looking around the room?
So he told her to try to identify the thing she was attaching her insecurity to.
The thing. Okay.
Like, is there a specific person or maybe a type of person that's triggering that feeling?
Okay, so like what kind of thing are we talking about?
Well, Hayley Atwell gave a few examples.
Okay.
Like maybe you see someone who reminds you of a bully from school.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Or someone who, rejected you for a job, or just someone you perceive as being mean, or, whatever.
So like finding a focal point for that anxiety.
Exactly. It's about trying to externalize it a little bit.
So you're not just swimming in this sea of vague anxiety.
But you're giving it a name, a label.
Okay, I'm starting to see where this is going.
Right. So once you've identified this thing, this trigger, then you can start to figure out what the underlying emotion is.
What do you mean?
So maybe it's not just general anxiety. Maybe you realize, oh, I'm actually feeling jealous of that person.
Oh, interesting.
Or I'm feeling really lonely in this crowd. Or even, wow, that person's confidence is making me feel inadequate.
I see. So you're getting specific about what you're feeling.
Yeah, you're pinpointing it.
And I guess that makes it less scary somehow.
Exactly. It's not this big amorphous blob anymore. It's something you can understand and therefore manage.
So it sounds like this is kind of a two-step process, right?
Yes, definitely.
First, you find the external thing that's triggering the anxiety, and then you name the specific emotion that it's bringing up.
And apparently that can be really powerful just in terms of making that anxiety feel less overwhelming.
Okay, but it wasn't just about identifying the emotion, right? Tom Cruise also told Hayley Atwell to kind of confront it head on.
Yeah, he told her to actually keep looking at the thing that was making her anxious.
Really? That seems counterintuitive.
It does, but the idea is that by not avoiding it, you're actually gathering information about it.
Oh, I see.
So maybe you realize that your initial perception was wrong, or that the threat isn't as big as you thought it was.
So you're testing your assumptions, basically.
Yeah, and that can help to kind of diffuse the anxiety.
So it's not just about feeling better in the moment. It's also about potentially learning something.
Exactly. It's about using that anxiety as an opportunity for growth.
Okay, so besides this advice on dealing with social anxiety, Hayley Atwell also talked a bit about what it was like working with Tom Cruise.
Oh, yeah.
And she described him as being very kind, very professional, and supportive on set.
Which is interesting, because he has this reputation of being very intense.
Right, like a total perfectionist.
Yeah, but it sounds like he actually created a really safe and encouraging environment for her.
She even joked about his work ethic, calling him a one-man studio.
I love that. And she said she felt comfortable trying different things on set without being afraid to fail.
Which is really cool to hear.
It is, yeah. And she also mentioned that, with Mission Impossible, who knows if the final reckoning will really be the final one?
Right, because Tom Cruise is always pushing the boundaries doing the next big thing.
Exactly. So maybe we'll see another installment. Who knows?
But regardless of that, the advice he gave her about social anxiety, that's something we can all take away and try out.
For sure. It's a really practical technique.
So for everyone listening, if you find yourself feeling socially anxious, try shifting your focus outward.
Right. Look around and try to find the thing that you're attaching your insecurity to, whether it's a person, a situation, whatever.
And then try to name the specific emotion that's coming up for you.
Is it jealousy? Is it loneliness? Is it fear? What is it?
And just that act of naming it can really help to take away some of its power.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe it'll even reveal something deeper about yourself.
Right, might help you to understand your own patterns and triggers a little better.
Yeah, it could be like a little window into your subconscious.
So next time you're in a situation that triggers that social anxiety, give this a try. See what happens.
You might be surprised by what you learn.
And that's something to think about long after this conversation is over.
Definitely food for thought.
Food for thought, exactly.